So today I have got week 24 of my 365 Days of Art challenge. So if you want to see what I do this week, then keep on watching. Okay, so the first one that I did this week was colouring in this like grid thing. To be honest, I actually filmed this a couple of weeks ago and I'm like only now getting around to actually like editing and uploading it. So to be honest, most of these are actually going to be a surprise to me as well because I don't actually remember what I did. But yeah, by the looks of it, I just coloured this grid in completely green to begin with, just with a colouring pencil obviously, and then yeah, I guess I'll see in a minute what I actually decided to do. Okay, so I then went in with a yellow pen that matched the grid lines and then made like a checkerboard pattern. I don't know why, but I'm kind of obsessed with making like checkerboard patterns like whenever I have one of these like colouring sections to do. So yeah, I end up just making like a checkerboard or some sort of pattern like that. But I think they're effective and I think they look pretty cool. And then I went in with a green pen and just added a little dot into each of the squares. So yeah, in the end I think that looked pretty cool and it was a pretty like quick and easy one to be able to do. Yeah, it didn't take very long at all. It didn't really take much effort either. The next one that I did this week was creating like a forest basically. I think it said to like create like a forest walk or something like that. I don't really remember the wording, but I just sort of experimented with different ways of painting and drawing trees. I just kind of used it as an excuse to do that more than actually like building up a scene, but in the end I actually really like what I did and I like how there's still sort of like a little bit of a path through, because I think that was kind of like the main point was to kind of make like a forest walk. So I wanted to kind of leave patches like open so it would be like a clear indication of where you were supposed to walk. I know obviously it's literally just like some trees on a page and you shouldn't really think about it that deeply, but yeah, that is what I decided to do, and yeah, in the end it's actually probably become one of my favourite pages, which is weird because it is literally just some trees, but yeah, I really liked it. And the next one that I did was this one right next to the trees, and this was creating a rug basically. So I just did a like whitewash type thing, not a whitewash, but I can't think of what it's actually called, in blue watercolour. Then I went through with some purple pens and created some patterns. Then I went in with a black liner and added some little like details. It's definitely not my best work, but it's a good sort of way of doing some mark making and experimenting with different patterns, what you like and what you don't like together, and also what colours you like and don't like. So I like those activities for that. Similar to the tile that I did, it's like easy to sort of build up patterns and, you know, discover what you actually like to do and what you don't like to do. So my next one that I did this week was filling a page full of pink things, and this has actually become one of my favourite pages as well. If you saw last year's video, it was a Christmas video that I did with some Christmas cards. I did a Christmas card with like a big red bow on it. It was two candy canes and then they were like tied together with like quite a big bow, and I kind of followed the same sort of style with this one. So I did a pink bow, like watercolour bow in the middle of the page, and I actually love how this turned out. To be fair, I did spend quite a while on it. I feel like I spent like 20 minutes on this one bow, but I was like determined to actually make it look good and make it sort of like look nice and how I actually wanted it to. And then I did a bunch of like mark making as well with a pen, like one of these zebra fine liners, and then I did a watercolour like pink balloon like was already on the page, but I just love doing these little balloons. I think they're really cute. And then yeah, as you can see there, I did some mark making with my watercolours as well, did some sort of like circles or some like balls or whatever. But yeah, I just kind of filled the page as I normally do with these colouring or like filling the page sections. I just filled it with different random things, but yeah, I really love this page overall. I think it's really girly, really cutesy, and yeah, this is definitely one of my favourite pages. It's a simple page, but I absolutely love this page. Overall this week, although there are some that like I've done that I'm not that much of a fan of, this one actually being one of them, I remember this one now, but there are definitely a couple that I actually do really like. and yeah, they've definitely become sort of like favourite pages for me. So yeah, this week I would say is pretty successful. This one went kind of a little bit wrong, but it was kind of more of like a little experiment really. It's kind of hard to, you know, make everything look perfect in here when a lot of things are just sort of experiments, you know, like they're not necessarily perfect, and they're not necessarily things that you've tried before. So if you've not tried them before, then you don't know how necessarily to do them, how it's going to work. But this one basically were watercolor droplets, and then you could turn the droplets into patterns or animals or anything you wanted really. But I did some green droplets to match in with the ones that I already had, and then I chose to sort of like add some fine line like details in there. But the problem was is I didn't actually let the splodges like dry fully, which is my mistake. I definitely should have done that, but I didn't, and then it basically caused everything else to bleed, and it's bled through like a little bit to the other page. But yeah, that's sort of that is my fault. Obviously if I was to do it again, I would definitely make sure that it was dry beforehand. But anyway, moving on to the next one. This one actually looks super random, but it was basically like picking an object or something around you and doing sort of like a really quick drawing. So like setting a timer, I think it was for like 10 or 15 minutes or something, and then just like drawing what you could in that time. So what I actually chose was myself and my boyfriend, for our anniversary last year, we went and got photos taken of our eyes. So they're like really, really in-depth photos. And yeah, I decided to draw one of the eyes on there, and I believe it was my eye, but I'm not sure, I can't really remember. But yeah, it picks up all the super fine detail. So yeah, that was what I did. And then the next one that I did, I believe, was like drawing the weather today, and the weather had actually been quite nice, so I just did a blue sunny sky and then just marked off all the activities at the end like always. So that was week 24 of my 365 days of art challenge. Let me know down below what your favourite was and if you've got any ideas for the future. But other than that, make sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye!